While McLaren's Daniel Ricciardo will be happy to race in front of his home crowd this weekend for the first time since 2019, the current struggles of his team don't make it the ideal scenario. In a media debrief attended by Formula World, Daniel gave his honest thoughts about this weekend. I'm your host, Dylan Shelley, and first up on Formula World, Daniel Ricciardo reveals bare minimum expectations from home race. Daniel started off by speaking about F1 returning back to Australia.
It's good. I think once it's kind of gone, you realise how much you miss it, and that's really the feeling. And to be so close a couple of years ago, and obviously we're all here ready to go. I went to bed that night, ready to wake up the next morning and hit the track, and it was in the middle of the night. I heard that it was probably was very likely going to get called off, and pretty heartbreaking. And I think as well, that's obviously from a selfish point of view as a driver, that for everyone that was here and expecting to see a race, the fans, and obviously Australia is quite remote, so for Aussies to travel to other destinations around the world for races isn't easy. So it was hard on everyone, so very happy that we're back in full force this year.
He then gave his opinion on the modifications done to Albert Park.
So it looks really good, and a bit like the helmet, not taking credit, but I was a little bit involved in the, let's say, the talks about revamping the circuit a few years ago, when they had kind of the first idea of, let's say, what to do to try to make the racing a bit better, because it's always been a fun track, but on Sundays it's been a little bit tricky for overtaking just through the layout and the nature of it. So really the idea was to try and open it up and just to make Sunday a bit more exciting, and try to have more overtakes. So it's going to be much more flowing. I think, we looked at Bahrain, the first race of the year, we were definitely struggling. Quite a twisty technical track. Then when we went to Saudi, a lot more flowing. I think a little bit, much more like what Melbourne's going to be like this weekend, and we were a step more competitive. So hopefully it means good things. But I think as a race now, you're going to see it totally different.
He revealed his expectations for this weekend.
Honestly, as simple as it sounds, I don't have any points yet. There's only been 2 races, but so to get in the points is, let's say, a start. That's like a bare minimum. But I was realistically, the only thing that's probably going to make everyone happy is a podium. So, that's what I would love. But truthfully, we are still a bit off that. So.
He further spoke about possibly doing a shoey this weekend.
Yeah, it would be. That's why. Don't get me wrong, I want it so bad, and I feel it's probably the first shoey I would ever do that wouldn't be alone. I'm pretty sure I'd look down at the crowd and there'd be others doing it with me. So, that would be a collaborative shoey would be the dream.
He signed off by speaking frankly about the struggles of McLaren.
Strengths, I think we showed more promise in Saudi, so I think that's more like the higher speed, kind of flowing corners. It was a little bit that way last year as well. We felt like that's where we were a stronger car, and I think it's similar at the moment. So that's why looking at the track layout here in Albert Park this year, I'm like, we'll probably come close a bit more, and look, we're not the best in those corners, but we are more competitive, so hopefully that'll help us out. I think for development, that's where, the first race, we were, not on the pace, being polite, and, I was still upbeat, and everyone's like, surely you're disappointed, but because it's new regulations, there's still so much to learn with the car. I am, still very, optimistic and confident that we can develop the car still throughout the year pretty well. So I think there's still a lot to learn with these new cars, and I think we'll just at some point hopefully get onto something and then be in much better shape.
Will Daniel Ricciardo do a shoey this season? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you liked this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula 1.